Well, well, well. As I told you the other day, the 3 and 4 letter networks were having a frenzy on something that Dak Prescott said about the Dallas Cowboys as it applies to the Philadelphia Eagles, and made it sound like Dak was crazy. But now we got the voice of reason coming in. And I won't say that he's defending Dak Prescott. I'll just say that Troy Aikman is about to set the record straight on what Dak Prescott said. Let's talk, Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And don't forget at the end, if you like this video, to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video, and you can continue to push us out into that YouTube algorithm and also help support this channel. And if you haven't already, please become a member. Now let's talk facts. Troy Aikman says a mouthful in this interview on The Ticket because he talks about the state of affairs as it applies to the media these days. I said it before. The 3 and the 4 letter networks, after criticizing content creators, have now become the content creators. Sports journalism is now done by us content creators, and they have become just mere content creators looking for the next headline, the likes, the clicks, and their material for whatever day they're on. And so Troy Aikman is going to set the record straight because, of course, he heard a whole earful of how people were criticizing Dak Prescott over saying something that in actuality made sense. Let's listen to Troy Aikman. And I think Troy Aikman is going to say it exactly as it needs to be said. Let's listen.
This week, Dak Prescott said that he thought the Cowboys were very close to the Eagles. Now, 2 years ago, they certainly were. They were probably better than the Eagles, but this year, it wasn't close on the field. Going into this offseason and next season, do you think he's right and Jerry and Steven kind of feel the same way, or do you think there's a bigger gap between those two teams than they realize?
Yeah, first of all, I was with Dak when he made those comments. It's a crazy world right now. I run into it a lot, even doing the show. You say something, and then the next thing you know, it's on social media, and it's kind of mischaracterized, and it's not what was intended or what exactly was said. I mean, every single thing anyone says just gets dissected and debated, and I totally get where Dak was coming from. And in his mind, there's no reason for him not to feel that way. He was hurt, as you know, and when he's healthy, they've played with Philadelphia, they've played with Washington, and so I think they are closer than what the records would suggest. But I also think that.
So let's deal with this part. Troy Aikman basically said it's a crazy world that we live in. He's basically talking about this social media age because the content, we're all, we're content creators, and we take the content and we listen to it, and then we dissect it, and then some of us state facts, and some of us just go away from the facts. And the facts were, when you listen to what Dak Prescott said, it's actually not crazy because Dak Prescott, when healthy, has owned the NFC East. I'll put a link to the video I posted about this and broke this all down up here or over here. But the issue is, Troy's right. Dak was hurt. The Cowboys with Cooper Rush beat the Washington Commanders one time. And then with Trey Lance, they almost beat them the second time. And Jaden Daniels didn't get taken out until, I'm thinking, either late in the second or the second half. And so when you even think about the first game the Cowboys played against the Eagles, that was with Cooper Rush. But if you take away the fumble at the goal line by Ezekiel Elliott, you take away the missed touchdown by CeeDee Lamb because the sun was in his eyes. I mean, the Cowboys were kind of playing well with the Philadelphia Eagles. And, of course, Cooper Rush starts to turn the ball over because of that pass rush. But in the grand scheme of things, the Cowboys played them pretty well in the first half. It was the second half that things just went haywire. But I'm saying all of that to say that Dak Prescott knows that even when we may not have had even a better team, we were still good enough to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And Dak is basically saying that with some of the things that I think he believes the Cowboys are going to do this season, he believes that the Cowboys are still going to be able to compete with the Philadelphia Eagles. It doesn't mean they're going to the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean they're going to sweep the Eagles. But why wouldn't anybody who's been watching the Cowboys with Dak Prescott when they're healthy, and even when Philly is healthy, to think that Dak wouldn't be able to still deal with the Philadelphia Eagles? But let's listen to the rest of what Troy says, and I think he says something even more significant.
If that's the way you look at it, I'm not sure that's the right way to look at it, I guess is where I'm going with it, because Philadelphia, it's not like they're going to stay put. As I mentioned, they've proven that who's to say they're not going to be better than they were this year. And Washington, when you consider what they were able to do last year, and now they've got their quarterback in place, stands to reason that they're going to continue to be better and bolster that roster as well. So, it's an uphill climb for Dallas with some of the changes, but I don't think for a second that they won't be able to compete in the NFC East. And I saw some of the pundits that laughed or took shots at Dak for those comments, and I just think it fills up a day's worth of content for a February, after the Super Bowl, because I do think Dallas is going to be in the conversation and be competitive. But they've got to get better, as we know. There's areas, a lot of areas within that roster that need to be better. But hopefully those things get addressed. So yeah, I would not disagree, assuming that Dak is healthy, that they'll be competitive and at least have a chance. But I also think these other two teams are going to be better as well. And then where the Giants fit into that is anybody's guess.
I'm just looking forward to today's clickbait of Aikman defends Prescott. And we'll read about that. Yeah,
it's absurd. I mean, it's absurd. It's crazy. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that I will say something, and more times than not, it's on this show. You got and
I'll put the link to this down in the description. But let's deal with a couple of things that Troy Aikman said. I don't know if the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm not going to say that they can't, but how much better can the Philadelphia Eagles actually get? I mean, I say that and they could go get Myles Garrett, but the reality is, how much better can the Philadelphia Eagles really get? I mean, that team right now is really, really good. And as it pertains to the Washington Commanders, the Washington Commanders, I believe, are going to get better. They have a lot of salary cap space, and there are some key defensive players that I think the Washington Commanders are going to try to get their hands on. I think the Cowboys, we better get ready, because I believe that Dan Quinn is going to drive the price up on Osa Odigizua. I also think that the Washington Commanders are going to make a serious stab at one Myles Garrett. And so I do believe, while I'm not sure how much better Philly can get, I do know that Washington will get better. But let's not discount this. As Troy Aikman said, if Dak Prescott is healthy, and if Jerry Jones, and the key is, if Jerry Jones does some of the things that he needs to do, if Jerry Jones does something in free agency, whether it be on this line, whether it be on defense, and then go into the draft and finish filling out this roster, getting this team a home run hitting running back, getting this team a number 2 wide receiver, getting this team a couple of more pieces on the offensive line and a couple of more pieces on the defensive line and on defense. The Cowboys, I promise y'all, they will be back competitive. And I'm like Troy Aikman, I do believe the Dallas Cowboys are going to be competitive. I'm not listening to a whole lot of this talk that people are doing. I'm not listening. I believe that Jerry and Stephen Jones are committed to being right about Brian Schottenheimer. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with what Michael Parsons is saying or anything else that other people are doing at this point. I think the Cowboys have seen all they need to see. And now I think they know that if we don't do something personnel-wise, there is nothing that we're going to be able to do to be anything better than number 3 in the NFC East, let alone the NFC. But y'all tell me what you think. I'm glad Troy came out, and, you know, we don't have to say that Troy Aikman defended Dak Prescott, but in some respects, he defended the truth. And the reality is you don't even have to defend the truth. All you have to do is state it, and it speaks for itself. And so I think Troy did a very good job of setting the record straight. And I don't have any problem, and no one else should have any problem with anything that Dak Prescott said. But again, y'all tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.